We've all seen it, right? The incredible glow-up videos, the rich girl energy mood boards all over our feeds. But what about the moments that don't make the highlight reel? What happens when reality is less about manifesting your dreams and more about just surviving a layoff? Well, today, we are pulling back that glossy curtain to talk about the messy, the vulnerable, and ultimately the really powerful moments that actually shape who we are. So you've got these two different worlds living side by side. On the one hand, social media is selling us this fantasy of an easy, effortless path to success. But on the other hand, so many of us are quietly going through a confidence crunch after a major setback or dealing with the shock of a forever layoff. And these are the moments that, as one woman in our community perfectly put it, can feel a lot less like a highlight reel and a lot more like a horror movie. And that's really what this is all about for the next few minutes. We're leaning into the mess. This is about celebrating who we are at our very best, but also, and this is the important part, holding space for the struggles, the unexpected turns, and all the nonlinear paths that make up a real human life. So, where do we even begin with all this? Well, let's start with something I think a lot of us know all too well. That absolute gut punch to your confidence, especially when it comes to your career. The professional world has changed so much, and honestly, the old rulebook, it just doesn't work anymore. First up, we've got to get familiar with these new terms, like the forever layoff. So what is it? Well, it's not just when a company is having a tough quarter. It's when your entire role disappears for good because the whole industry is shifting under your feet. It's a huge structural change that can leave you feeling completely adrift, questioning literally everything. And hey, even if you still have your job, you might be dealing with something called ghost growth. Sound familiar? It's that feeling when you're taking on more and more and more responsibility, but your title and your paycheck are staying exactly the same. It's basically a one-way ticket to burnout and feeling totally taken for granted. All of this really leads to this one big question. That old school idea of climbing a straight career ladder just feels, well, ancient, doesn't it? For so many of us, it's way more like a career jungle gym. There are ups and downs, twists and turns, and yeah, sometimes you just feel like you're dangling, not sure which way to go next. So how in the world do you rebuild from that? Well, it's probably not in the way you think. I read this incredible story from a woman in the Every Girl community. She said her confidence didn't come flooding back when she landed some amazing new job. Nope. You know what started it? Something small, something real, cooking a nice lobster dinner for her parents. And that right there is the big secret. The path back isn't always about a frantic 24/7 resume building marathon. It's about the much deeper, slower work of building up your resilience and figuring out what truly lights you up from the inside, not just chasing some prize someone else set for you. Okay, so once we start getting our footing back after that confidence crunch, what's next? Well, now we get to the really good part, actually reclaiming our own path and deciding for ourselves what success is even going to look like. And this is where the stories just get so inspiring, because there is no one right way to do life. We hear these amazing stories of women at 35 suddenly reclaiming dreams they thought they had to give up in their 20s, or women who are bravely choosing to be child-free, even when society pressures them, or even learning to swim as an adult as a way to heal. Every single one of these journeys is so valid and so powerful. And you know what? Let's just say this one loud and clear for everyone in the back. This is a message so many people need to hear. In a world that so often acts like being in a partnership is the ultimate goal, this is your reminder that your relationship status has absolutely nothing to do with your value as a person. Really, what this all comes down to is this. We need to completely reframe the word quitting. Deciding to let go of an old dream that just doesn't fit you anymore, that is not a failure. Think of it as a life edit. It's you consciously and powerfully clearing out what's not working anymore to make space for what will. But here's the absolute truth, and it's a big one. We can't do any of this stuff alone. The final, and maybe the most important piece of this whole puzzle is realizing that we don't have to walk through these hard things in isolation. Finding strength by being vulnerable with each other might be the most powerful move we can make. And that's exactly why we're seeing this cool shift happen. People are swapping out the old, awkward, traditional happy hour, the one with all the small talk, for something way more meaningful. The admin night. It's basically a time for friends to get together, be brutally honest about their struggles, map out their lives, and give each other some real, actual support. This is the kind of real talk that happens in these spaces. I mean, can you imagine saying something this vulnerable out loud? A raw admission about money anxiety like this? It's not met with judgment. It's met with, oh my God, me too. And in those moments, you realize you are so not alone in your fears. And if you're thinking this is just a small niche trend, think again. The desire for this kind of real connection is massive. Just look at a community like Create and Cultivate. We're talking about over 2 million women around the world. This isn't just a trend. It's a movement of ambitious people who get that true growth happens when we can be real with each other. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all for, right? It doesn't matter if it's a small group of friends or a giant global network. The whole point is to help each other find the clarity and, yeah, the confidence to just take that next big step, whatever it might be. So let's bring all this back home, back to your story. What does all of this mean for you? Well, it's about taking all of these threads, the resilience, the self-definition, the community, and weaving them together to build a life that actually feels like you. You know, our whole mission here has always been to share content that is, yes, inspiring, but also deeply relatable and maybe most importantly, attainable. It's all about helping you live a well-rounded life, not just one that looks perfect on the outside. So I want to ask you, and I want you to really think about it for a second. Where are you on this journey right now? Are you right in the middle of a crazy career pivot? Are you dusting off an old dream you thought was gone forever? Or maybe, just maybe, your work right now is simply learning to love the person you are today in a world that is always telling you to be something else. And here is why sharing that story matters so much. Your experience, with all its messy, complicated, beautiful parts, it isn't just for you. Sharing what you've been through is an act of care for your community. It could literally be the emotional protection, the lifeline that someone else desperately needs to see today. So I'll leave you with that one big question. Your journey is a testament to your resilience. It is a story that is worth telling. So what is it? What's your story? Because I promise you, someone out there really needs to hear it.